Jose is a student at Holyoke Community College in Holyoke, Massachusetts, where he has taken a range of certificate courses that he has completed. And right now, he is working on music. He is here with Rebecca Leporati, who is a enrollment counselor at Holyoke, and she guides students who are pursuing certificate programs as well as associate's degrees and certificates. She will explain the courses that you can take at Holyoke Community College, how students can get involved on campus, and what types of supports are available to students. I'm so excited that both Jose and Rebecca are joining us to get both sides of the student experience at community college. Um, just because I know that community college is a great resource for a lot of students, and it's not always clear in the K 12 setting how you get started on campus and what the ways to access that are. Um, so, community college is for anybody who wants to continue learning in a vocational setting, which means anybody who is post K 12 and wants to gain job skills that are going to be relevant for careers and for the life skills that we all need to navigate our complicated world. Um, for many students who are leaving high school or getting their GED, the next step is a non traditional college setting like community college. And this is a great way to get skills and work based experiences, as well as access to hands on vocational training um, that can help you prepare for certificates, for licensing exams, for internships, apprenticeships, and work. And it also is a great way to develop self advocacy skills to become a fully heard and realized member of the community. Holyoke Community College is one of the many wonderful community colleges across the nation providing those services and options. So, Jose and Rebecca, I'm so excited to talk about that with both of you. Um, Jose, I understand that you like music and that this semester you're taking a course on the fundamentals of music, but you've also taken some courses in other areas like deaf studies and practical things like first aid. But can you tell me a little bit about the music course that you took?
Yeah, it was good. Uh, I just finished the final recently,
Oh,
and yeah,
congratulations.
I got an A on the class.
That's wonderful. Was it a specific style of music, like vocal music or instrumental music?
I was just learning like the notation and the music.
Oh, so how to read
hmm
written music? That's very cool. I can see how that's a useful skill. Is there a specific instrument you play?
I used to play the trumpet, but I haven't been able to practice or anything because ever since I aged out of school.
And I know you've taken some other courses and you're working towards a certificate as a paraeducator, is that right?
That's correct.
And what do you hope to do as a paraeducator? Is there a certain type of student that you see yourself really wanting to support in school?
Yeah, I used to be in the Holyoke Transitions program, so that's where, I like to go back and help people out.
Yeah. And for people that are not as familiar with the world of special ed, I'm guessing your transition program was probably focused on people who are done with high school and are in that 18 to
hmm
22 age group. Is that right?
hmm
Oh, okay. So you used to attend that program yourself and you want to go and give back to the students that are still
hmm
there. Very cool. And how were the other courses that you've taken so far?
It was good actually.
Yeah,
It was worth it.
worth it. Uh, how was deaf studies? Did you cover ASL?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I don't know sign language, but it's something that I have always thought to myself would really be a valuable skill to
hmm
add in terms of disability justice. So I'm glad that you got that exposure. What about first aid? Did you do CPR, choking, all those
hmm
things? Good,
Yep.
valuable life skills. And um, what are you planning to take next?
Next semester, I'm gonna be getting a ceramics class that I'm gonna be working on.
Oh, that sounds really fun.
Mm,
Interesting. Okay.
I just want to make sure, Jose, that you are talking about all of the fabulous things that you're doing on campus. You know, you mentioned first aid and some of the art classes that you're starting to dabble in, but you are very engaged with the campus on many levels.
mm,
If it's okay to bring it up, you've
mm,
taken de escalation techniques, you really care about safety and trauma informed practice.
mm.
And can you tell Catherine a little bit about how you're engaged with the campus outside of class? I don't want to jump ahead, but I just
No
think
worry.
that it paints a fuller picture as to like
Yeah.
how involved you
Yeah.
are and what you're passionate about as a student.
Mm-hmm.
So to bring that up, I'm on the student senate council. So it's like we advocate for the students and staff.
Yeah. And it sounds like first aid isn't the only safety skill in terms of trauma informed care and de escalation techniques. That's wonderful, inclusive work that you're learning. It's
Hmm.
great that you've been able to connect to those opportunities. And I hope they'll serve you well in
Yeah,
terms of your
thanks.
future work
Hmm.
with students. How did you find Holyoke Community College and how did you get interested in your current program?
So I used to go to it before when I aged out of school. The
Oh,
transitions program
awesome.
got me into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually where I met Jose, was when he was a transition student attending the Mahee program at HCC. So we're the now known as MAPC, but we're the Massachusetts Inclusive Post-Secondary Ed Initiative. And we work with two groups of students. We work with both Tier 1 and Tier 2 students who are enrolled in a transition program. So just like Mass Bay, they're part of our Mahee community, MAPC community as well, of our state cohort. Um, but we work with students who are in the transition program who either have not received a high school diploma or who have earned their high school diploma, but they deferred it in order to receive
Mm-hmm.
transition services to kind of help them into that next step. So Jose started his journey with me as a transition student. And with new legislation that passed back in 2022, that allowed us to enroll students 22 plus who are part of the adult agencies, which is where Jose is now. And so he is being supported in our program through our adult agency partners, through DDS or the Department of Developmental Services.
Yes. Can you tell me a little bit more about your background? What mindset you were in when you were graduating high school and first thinking about college, just to try to shed some light on that for younger students who are just at the start of their college journey, Jose?
So yeah, so I first heard about the transition program when a teacher from high school told me about it. Like he talked at the meetings and stuff about it. Like I think he really wanted me in there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, 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 but I made the decision to go and stuff because, there's opportunities.
And so I'm told that you have an educational coach at HCC. Can
Hmm.
you tell me more about what that is and the type of coaching that you're getting?
Yeah, so my job coach is focusing on helping me out. We meet at least once a week and to work on all the stuff that I need help on.
Yeah. Could you give some examples of maybe what you worked on recently?
Yeah, so we worked on organizational, um, budget management
So,
or
financial
budget.
skills,
Yep,
planning
there
for,
we go. Yep.
yeah, absolutely. That's great. So, Rebecca already shouted out how involved you are in campus life and that you are on the Student Senate. Can you share more about the types of things that you do on the Student Senate or if there are even other things you do on campus?
So we had to made a decision about the administrative withdrawal policy, which we
Mm-hmm.
voted no on because it was being used the wrong way.
Are there other activities or clubs or volunteer work that you do, Jose?
Yeah. So I'm also part of the people, culture, and equity movement at HCC, which
Mm-hmm.
focuses on community policing, and I'm also on the Campus Safety Advisory Council.
Yeah. So, what inspired you to get involved in people, culture, and equity or in policing reform?
So when I first was it, I went to a local hospital during a crisis, and I was restrained in the wrong way, because
Mm.
of a medical issue.
I'm so sorry that it was lived experience of being mistreated that moved you to do that, but I'm really glad you're involved.
Hmm.
Um, Thank you for your service. I hope that a lot of students benefit from your work, Jose. Um,
Thank you.
so, how do you get to campus? Are you a commuter student?
I take the paratransit service, like the senior and disability service.
Ah, yes, yes, because there is an obligation to provide access, so you're able to access regional paratransit to get to
Hmm.
campus. That's a great option to know about. We haven't talked to students who live outside of areas served by public transit, but I know from having been to Holyoke, Massachusetts, that it is more rural than some communities. Um, do you have any tips for students that are living in rural areas or areas that are small towns?
Yep, always plan ahead, and always plan your trips an hour ahead or so, depending on how late they're gonna be or the weather situation it's gonna be.
Oh, that's really good advice. That's super practical. Um, and Rebecca, can you tell me a little bit more about the range of students that are served at HCC?
Absolutely. So HCC is a Hispanic serving institution. So we truly are serving anyone who is interested in upward mobility and interested in pursuing an educational experience. Probably one of my favorite parts of working at a community college is that it, in fact, reflects the community. So there is not one student profile. You know, we have some folks coming in who are first generation college students. We have students coming in from transition programs. We have students who are coming in who are 65 years old and wanting some personal enrichment and, you know, all the folks in between. So that's probably the most exciting part about working at this institution is that it's truly ingrained in the values of reflecting our community and making opportunity available to anybody who is interested in seeking that.
So you mentioned that you work with disabled and deaf students in particular, and that HCC, I know, has a deaf studies certificate program, but also a wide variety of other things from culinary arts um, to educational aid programs like what Jose might be working on. How do students pick or find the program that best suits their goals, or is there counseling for that?
There's definitely advising from our professional advisors in Campus Center. You know, students who are really unsure of the direction or path that they want to take, they're encouraged to kind of come in and talk to somebody about that. Um, Sort of like the lucky piece of being or having that flexibility in a community college setting is that students can change their major. So, like, it is truly a choose your own adventure. You know, students might come in undeclared, they might come in as a liberal arts study just because that's the most flexible and they can really kind of
Yeah.
run the gamut of what is interesting to them and then actually declare a major down the line. Actually, another thing I wanted to point out too that I think is really important for folks to know who, for whatever reason, maybe they're thinking about college and maybe considering, like, I don't know if it's for me, or I don't know if I belong there. I don't know if I can attain this in whatever way. You know, community college is free in Massachusetts through our Mass Educate and Mass Reconnect programs, where, you know, folks who do not have a bachelor's degree who have lived in the state for a year, we strongly encourage you to come talk to us. You still have to fill out a financial aid or FAFSA form, but it is truly, I feel like it has really opened up the gates for folks who may have otherwise faced some financial barriers of coming to college. And our advisors can walk you through that as well. If you have any questions or are unsure of your eligibility, we encourage you, please come talk to us.
Yeah, if you are receiving adult disability support and you do not feel that tuition is attainable, this is a great way to continue your education. Because I know that adult disability income supports, regardless of the specific program that funds you, is not a ton of money per month. So finding money for things like tuition can be prohibitive. Um, yeah. What are the most, just for my edification, what are the most popular tracks of study at Holyoke? What are the most popular certificates or majors?
Definitely culinary. We have this beautiful Culinary Art Institute, which is actually located off of our main campus. It's downtown Holyoke, so it's very accessible by public transportation. Um, I would definitely say that is probably one of our most popular. Um, at least with the students that I work with, vet tech is also very popular, as well as nursing and health, um, communications. And I would be remiss if I didn't shout out our arts department. They are truly a jewel of the campus. They're wonderful, not only to my MAPC students,
Yeah.
but to students as well. And I feel like, Jose, you can speak to that with your music classes that you're
Hmm.
taking, but they are, the faculty there are truly very special. And I feel like have definitely attracted a wide range of students because of that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I can see how taking a fine or studio art would be beneficial to anybody, regardless of your field of study, just to learn some self expression and gain skills. Does that sound fair, Jose?
Yeah. My professor was really nice actually. She was awesome.
Yeah, so it sounds like you had that experience of the
Hmm.
arts faculty being really wonderful, like Rebecca's talking about.
And
So,
and they also understand you too, your situations and stuff.
yeah, that's great to hear. Um, so you mentioned that you want to be a para educator. So you're working towards the certification exam, right? How's
Hmm.
that going right now?
So far, I failed. I passed one part and I failed the other two parts.
Okay, so past one is good. Do you have support from HCC, or how are you working towards studying for the exam?
I've been trying to work on with my job, my ed coach, but it's been
Yeah.
difficult this semester with the classes that I was taking.
Yeah, I can appreciate how music might not really feel related at all to the content of the exam. Um, do you have courses that you're thinking of that might be more related to the exam? Or Rebecca, can you talk about how the HCC programming might tie into that goal?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if it's okay to say, Jose, I know that you've taken some math courses to kind of help refresh.
Mm-hmm.
We've printed out some practice exams. So, when Jose is meeting with his ed coach, maybe they'll time a segment, maybe they'll see, if there's a specific topic or category of questions that he's having issues with. Um, we have talked about disclosure and accommodations, and that's something that we're looking into as well. Um, Not to talk about culinary again, but that our experience with accommodations with state testing for the food handler exam, they have worked with our students in the past for accommodations,
Oh, that's
but
really
we're still
good.
seeking if that's yeah, we're seeking if that's a possibility for Jose and his
Yeah.
future exam.
So Jose and Rebecca, you can chime in if you want once we hear from Jose. But what advice do you have for other autistic students who are moving beyond high school and thinking about transitioning and exploring career paths? What would you say to them?
I'd say that there's a purpose for everything. So it's like if you're resistant, like you're not sure, always ask questions and stuff and decide. In my experience, I think it was worth it because now without them, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here at HCC.
And I'd like to add to that for sure. I love to tell students that if it's something that you want, it is waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
process of finding out what you want and seeking a college experience, it's like this big process of becoming. I like to kind of explain an HCC experience as practice becoming an adult, right? That's not inherent to us. We all have to learn those skills. We all have to learn through self determination and honestly, dignity of risk. Like taking
Mm-hmm.
those chances and trying something new. And I think that there's so much knowledge to be gained. There's so many people on campus, not just at HCC, but I want to say community colleges as a whole who really believe in students. We are fueled by your success and by your desire to really engage with those opportunities. And success is individualized, right? Like, not every path is the same. We all take different paths, but I really want to encourage students to really go for it and to believe deeply that they belong at wherever institution they end up, that students belong and you
Yeah,
have a place there. So,
you belong everywhere you decide to be,
mhm, definitely.
on campus especially.
Yes, I have a little sign in my office actually that says, "The world needs your magic," and I truly mean that. Like, come as you
Yeah,
are.
yeah, and Jose, you've talked very eloquently about some of the causes on campus that you care about and are making a
Mhm.
positive difference in. So I'm glad Holyoke Community College has Jose's magic. That's a testament to the good in the world. Um, any final nuggets of advice you have for students considering or attending community college just like you?
Yes. So I would say to attending students, um, don't be afraid of failure. It's okay to take risks.
Yeah. And it's okay to not succeed.
Mhm.
There is no human that has succeeded more than they've failed.
Mhm.
That's not possible.
A loss is always a time to learn a lesson.
Mm.
Very well said. Well, Rebecca and Jose, thank you so much, both of you, for talking about the wonderful work that's happening on campus at Holyoke Community College. It's great to hear from both of you about the stuff that's happening for community college students.
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us.